Johnny here for Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. Today we're working on the Toyota MR2, and I'll actually let Julian, the pro mechanic here, who's going to be really programming the whole vehicle, tell you about it, because it's a bit of a oddball. It's a mix and match of everything.
Yeah, exactly, John. Like when you go buy someone else's half-finished project, right? These are the kinds of things that happen. Remember, this car's in '91. It's as old as I am, right?
Fair enough.
So what happens is, you know, you have a blown engine, you swap in something else, then the ECU doesn't work, and then you get these crazy mishmash of parts that all have to come together and work.
Oh yeah.
Happens more time than it doesn't.
And you know, sometimes swapping can be okay. It can usually, probably the majority of the time, go really poorly, but we're going to try to make it work actually quite well. Now, I would like to swap birth dates with you. I'd like to be born in '91 like this car, but I'm a little older. But yeah, part of this mix match mess is because of me. Back in '07, I threw on an intercooler with the help of another friend, threw on a big, huge intercooler, sorry, oil cooler in the front. In the back here, threw in much bigger intercooler. Originally, my motor, I'd thrown in bigger injectors, more powerful fuel pump, and a whole slew of things. Now, this is what you could say the first gen of the second gen Toyota MR2, and this is what Americans would call the fifth gen motor, but I believe it's, well, the vehicle's an SW20, so a Japanese model, and the engine is an SW20 as well. And I believe in Japan they only had 3 generations of the engine, so this is the third generation or fifth generation if you want to speak in Americanese. And well, we're going to try to make all this mix match work, because right now it doesn't. I started up, and for the first 2-3 minutes I can only do 15 kilometers an hour, even if the pedal is to the metal. So you know, we've done a lot of I've done a lot of the basic stuff starting up. I took out the 15-year-old air filter, put in a new air filter, went to change the spark plugs just as precautionary while doing an oil change, and then guess what? The spark plugs were completely oiled up. 2 of them were just swimming in oil, so then I knew I had a bigger problem. Luckily, looks like it was just the gasket, so changed out the valve cover gasket, and that really resolved a lot. So let's just, I'd say let's put the pedal to the metal on this, well, the fingers to the keyboard.
I guess you could sort of say that, yeah. And what's really nice about this is that this does have a standalone ECU installed in it. It's a product by Link. It's called the G4 Plus, and that's going to give us absolutely turnkey ability to tune this thing one end to the other. So all hope is not lost, John. You can have whatever injector, you can have whatever turbo, you can do whatever you want. I can control everything from this laptop, and you know what? You can too. This isn't rocket science, and I am by no means a pro tuner. I'm just a guy. I did some research.
Who's a mechanic?
I'm a mechanic, you know, I fix trucks. And this isn't something that's super crazy. You can call up. There's a lot of really good information out there. You can go get it, do a little bit of research, have some fun with this. This isn't something that is super dangerous and you're going to blow the engine up unless you really start pressing the wrong buttons all over the place and making large changes. We're going to go really slow. We're going to make progressive changes. And all we're going to start with is getting that air-fuel ratio into 14.7 at idle on the cold start. We're going to start with that and then start making horsepower.
Now, too much gas is always a much better problem than
not enough.
Not enough gas and too much air. So we'll play it on the safe side. And I also want to mention that I really like how you said having our own standalone system is key, because, well, this is actually on its 3rd motor. The original motor was blown, piggyback system. 2 motors after that were blown, piggyback system.
Why did the engines blow to begin with? I mean,
well,
you know,
the previous owner does have a heavy foot, did like to drive at some pretty mind-blowing speeds for long periods of time.
But what about
there's
the tune?
Also the tune. So these were piggybacks, and it was piggybacking. So these are standard, basically, sets of data thrown into the whole database. But nothing about this vehicle is standard. You know, we're talking about, you know, even the oil cooler is, 3 times the size. The intercooler is 3 times the size. All the piping, the exhaust,
and that's going to change all kinds of things with your mapping, everything else. And there's a lot of cars that are like this. I mean, you see them on Craigslist, you see them on eBay, all kinds of stuff. You go and it's someone's half-ass finished project, and you contact the guy and he's like, well, it kind of runs.
Cracks list, because these cars will probably cost you as much as a crack addiction. You might lose all the money in your wallet and your home just trying to get them to run. Now let's make sure that doesn't happen to us today.
Don't worry, John.
Let's get right down to it.
There's no wideband installed on this car. about this software is that you can make changes on the fly with the engine running. I just started with something that made it run, and as we go through it, we're going to make progressive changes and make it run well. This is not a cut and paste 5-minute job, but we're going to get there eventually. So as you can see, the engine is running smoothly, it runs well. And like I said, while we're running, I can just go and make changes on the fly while we're rolling. So that's actually a really nice product. It's a fun little thing. All right, John, so we have the computer in and we can see the data propagating. And like I mentioned earlier, what's really cool about this Link G4 Plus is we can make live changes while we're driving. So if I find a spot where it doesn't feel right, or it's not smooth, or it's jerking, anything, I can make changes to timing, make fuel adjustments. This is really, really nice.
Okay, so we're in the MR2, we're doing it the test run. Julian, poor guy, doesn't have the wideband sensor, and the previous owner that did it, he did it with a friend as well, and they didn't know what was up and down. So Julian learned it by towing it around and listening to the engine, but basically they had made the motor extremely lean. So I'm glad that I had a feeling that it's sputtering at low speed, and I put the pedal to the metal and it could only do about 15 kilometers an hour, so about 10 miles per hour, until it warmed up. So I knew something was wrong. I parked it after that one ride with Marie. Now Julian here, what are you doing here?
Right now we're just we're driving around, and what's really cool about this Link is that it's actually it's showing you where the cells are, and you're actually able to make fuel adjustments and timing adjustments on the fly while you're riding. It's not like HP tuners where you have to log out and log back in, and every time it's guess and check. You're making live changes while you're driving the car. So it's just about really driving around and making the changes at the appropriate spots. And
with the new shocks on this, driving around isn't that bad.
It is pretty low to the ground though.
It is. You had a lot of trouble getting in, didn't you?
Yeah, and well, so did you, but this is not a car for large men.
When you said you couldn't get out of this vehicle, I was thinking it's because you're loving the drive so much, because we've been tuning this now for maybe about 10 minutes, and I really thought it's because you're just loving the drive so much.
Oh no, when I said I can't get out of this, John, I can't get out of this. I can't.
We'll get Winston, we'll attach Winston and his harness, and he'll pull you out.
Okay, yeah, that's how that's gonna work.
Very, very believable. More believable facts on Johnny's Car Care and Review. Stay tuned. Give it the beans again. We lost the wire connection. Let's give it the beans and see what you got. And make sure no one's coming. We've had enough accidents today. Let's not get hit.
Let's try not to anyways. Let me adjust my map. And yeah,
pedal to the metal, right?
Yep,
I'm gonna traffic's coming fast.
Add some fuel up here. Should be close.
Pedal to the metal.
And that's 0 to 120 just like that.
Not bad.
Fun little go-kart. There's a little dead spot right in about peak torque, right at about 3,800, 4,000.
Okay. How was it at 6,500?
It felt like it pulls really good right at the top, but there's this little spot where I have too much change happening all at once.
Okay.
So I'm just going to try to smooth out that little area and see how that works.
Yeah, fourth gear had a little bit of a little rough putting it in. I don't know if it's the synchros or me.
A little bit of both.
Fair. Fair, my friend. Fair.
Fair. We're making a large change, but let's slow down. Let's try that again.
Okay.
Let's do a pull from about peak torque right up to the red line, and then smash
Third?
gears. Yep, go to third.
I didn't heel
Peak
toe.
torque, you're right there. Yep.
All the way in. Now it's starting to pull at 5.
Okay, I have too much fuel in it. Okay, so it's sitting right there. I thought that VE would be better, but no, it's not.
Good news, my friend. It's no longer heating up. It's actually staying nice and cool.
Oh, it was overheating before?
With the run that I did with Marie doing a pull like that, it got heated up and it stalled right at the lights.
I don't know how you didn't blow that engine, John. It was heating because there was not enough fuel in the system. Some people's children.
Yeah, now it's running much cooler all the time and it's not heating up.
Yep, and don't get too zealous, and this is where if I press the wrong button, the engine goes boom and I don't get to playback. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm going to be really conservative, and there's some places where there's a lot of timing in my opinion, so I'm really just going to pull off of that. I feel there's a couple
So we're heading back to do a little repair before we finish up this timing and the air-fuel ratio.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure y'all can hear that. That's pretty bad. That is us. That's